to order the meeting, zoning board of appeals meeting for May 6th at 7 p.m. And respect to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Secretary, you call the roll?
Certainly. Baymont.
Here.
Bailey. Absent. Basardi. Here. And Randalls.
Here.
I'd like to welcome Adam Randalls to the board.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
If there's no correction, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 1st, 2019.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes of April 1st?
Aye.
Aye. Same sign for nays. Okay. Now I need an approval for the agenda, and I'd like to make a few changes here. We're going to start by having a new format, and I'd like to have 5 in the approval agenda, and then 6 planner comments, 7 applicant comments, opening the public hearing, any correspondence that we might have regarding the issue, closing the public hearing, and then starting with number 9, making it 12 on down, the issue of the variance of what's going on. So, and that said, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
I have a motion by Pizarro, a second by Randall to approve the amended agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, well now we'll have our planner give his comments.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're here to hear a request for a dimensional variance from our existing standards. The property we're speaking of is 76 East Burdick. That's located at the southeast corner of intersection of Burdick and Glassby. The lot itself is a rectangular lot. It's approximately has about 99 feet along Burdick and about 82 feet along Glassby. And it is located in our R1 single-family zoning district. So the lot itself currently has a one single-family structure that fronts on Burdick, and then it also has a detached garage which fronts on and provides access onto Glassby. And there is, and so the applicant is proposing to remove an existing awning over the front porch or stoop, if you will, along Burdick and replace that with a new wooden roof structure. So we just provided an aerial photo for you in case you didn't have a chance to swing by it today. So with regards to the dimensional request, within the R1 district we have a 15-foot minimum front yard setback to create a standard front yard. Currently, as proposed based on our current standards for exemptions and projections in the required front yard, it's about approximately an 8-foot setback of the house to the front property owner. The applicant is proposing that that setback be measured at 2 feet 6 inches. So in effect, the variance being requested is for 12 feet 6 inches from our standard. So whenever someone requests a variance, there are 6 criteria listed in the zoning ordinance that we go over to see to evaluate the request to see if there's a appropriate justification to allow for it. That a practical difficulty exists that would warrant granting the variance. That first criteria we look at being whether if the applicant were to comply with the strict letter of the ordinance, would our regulations unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose. You do have the applicant did provide us with a mortgage survey, and it does indicate generally that it confirms that the house is located within close proximity to the front lot line, and that the awning does exist within that required 15 feet of required front yard. We do note that mortgage survey typically can't be used to have an exact measurement for our purposes. Normally a stake survey provides that, but it definitely can be assumed that if the awning was removed and there would be that the proposed roof would not be allowed to be constructed in its proposed location under our current standards. So in looking at the site and seeing whether we would, whether the strict adherence to the dimensional standards would prevent the applicant from using the site, you know, a roof over the primary entrance to a home, you know, we believe is reasonably, and it's a reasonable and expected use for a property. You know, many homes have that level of protection from the elements prior to entering your home rather than directly entering, you know, opening the doors and having the elements intrude into your living space. And it is something that is enjoyed by a good majority of the homes within the village. Because of that, because it is reasonable to assume to have a small protection of the elements before you enter. Most houses are designed to provide that. So compliance with the ordinance standards, you know, would unreasonably prevent the owner from a typical attribute that's used and enjoyed by most residents within the village. Second criteria is whether granting the variance would do substantial justice to the applicant, and as well as to other property owners in the district. Definitely by granting the variance, they would experience substantial justice and allow them to, once again, reasonably use property similar to other property owners. And then also, because of the location of the site and the fact that it's definitely going to be it will be located on private property, they would not, it would also provide substantial justice to the residents in the proximity and the rest of the village. Another criteria we look at is whether the plight of the applicant is due to unique circumstances of the property. So when it comes to evaluating that, you know, we look at the age of the home, and how it compares to other homes constructed of that time frame. And the issue is that the homes of that time frame actually have been removed and provided with replaced with newer homes that did comply with our current setbacks. However, the age of the house just indicates that it's actually located on that site in close proximity, and it's also probably due to the fact that at that time it was constructed, there wasn't as much of a need, possibly also due to the amount of frontage within the required right-of-way. The chances are that the right-of-way wasn't utilized to its full extent, as they were taking advantage of that situation. Another criteria we look at is whether this problem is self-created or not. The applicant, to the best of our knowledge, did not construct the home in this location, so they did not create this situation by placing the home in that much closer proximity to the street. So it is not self-created. Another criteria is whether the spirit of the ordinance would be observed and public safety and welfare secured. We do believe by granting the variance it would be, the spirit of the ordinance would still be adhered to, because once again, it is allowing the applicant to have a reasonable use of their property. And then the sixth criteria is we go in to determine whether this is the minimum necessary dimensional request. There will still be some setback provided between the front lot line and the proposed new roof structure. In addition, it's not appearing to extend the entire, it would not extend the entire frontage of the house. It's reasonably scaled and proportioned to the existing front door and the existing porch. So therefore, it's not looking to create a large mass directly adjacent to the sidewalk. It would be very minimal and comparative to the rest of the house. So those are the six criteria, and I'll reserve my final recommendation until after the public hearing.
Okay, Mario, thank you. Is the applicant in the room?
I'm her mother. She is at work and couldn't get off work.
Okay, can you give us some insight regarding?
Yeah, she's a hard
Can you
worker.
step up to the
Certainly,
podium, please?
certainly.
And state your name and address.
My name is Lynn Gorsick. I live at 611 Timothy Lane, apartment 204 in Rochester Hills. My daughter Mary Gorsick is the owner of 76 East Burdick, and Mary is hoping to remove the older existing awning and give it a little more appeal and personality. Thanks to Father and Son's Architect and Quote, to do kind of a more attractive peak line and shutters, and then some scale at the very peak of the house, just to enhance the look. And I think when she bought the house about a year ago, the prior owner had said it's close to the road because years ago Oxford needed more road space or something. So I know that was before she even got involved. But this basically, the long story is she wants to remove the old awning and put a newer, nicer one on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor to the public hearing. I'll need a motion for that.
Motion that we open the public hearing at, what is it, 7:11?
I'll second that. Madam Clerk, can I have a roll call?
Bema?
Yes.
Basardi?
Yes.
Randalls?
Yes.
And absent is Bailey.
Okay, do we have any correspondence that came through the mail at all?
No correspondence.
Ma'am, I have some blueprints and photographs. if you-
Okay, I'll get to you. So no correspondence came in the mail?
Nope.
And I see that we did send out a mailing to the, was it 300 feet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so everybody is notified. Okay, well, we're in public hearing, so go ahead.
I have some photographs of the existing and the blueprints of what we're looking to do. This is basically the awning now, it goes almost all the way across the house.
Right.
Okay. Here's a side view, whoops, sorry.
Okay.
And then what we're proposing to do is take that awning down, build a smaller structure. With a scalloped roof, not to protrude it any further, and then some scallops up here, add some shutters. That's what it's gonna look like
This
when
is
we're done.
extending the same as this
Yes.
other awning here.
But the awning here is going to be half.
Yeah, it's not going nowhere near that far.
Okay. Have you seen all these, Maria?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the concrete coming up?
No, the existing porch, we're gonna pour, new footings right from it. The existing concrete porch is a precast concrete porch. It's 2 inches thick. I'd probably just sitting on grade. It would not support the new roof load. So we do have to put in 2 new pier footings.
And the two pier footings are 6 inches further.
6 inch further than the porch that exists now, right?
Okay, right now, you are comments after anybody else in the audience that has anything to
He
say?
didn't identify himself.
Pardon?
He didn't
Oh.
identify himself.
Jim Bishop, Father and Son Construction. Do I need to do it at the mic?
No, I got you.
Normally, we'd ask you to step up to the mic because might be more people in the audience to say something to us. Okay, well, with that being said, if nobody else has any other comments in the public, we'll close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close public hearing at 7:14.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Bizarre, second by Randall, to close the public hearing at 7:14. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same additional sign? Okay, so we're here to request a dimensional variance for PO 0427228006, commonly known as 76 East Burdick. Any board comments? Go ahead.
Any thought about replacing the concrete porch and putting the footings in there so that it wouldn't come out? Or not?
The extra 6 inches, you would be adding about $8,000 to $10,000 on the price of the job, and I think that would make it prohibitive.
She's young.
For the homeowner.
There's no
She
way.
just bought it.
She's young.
Well, I noticed on the one piece of paper, it says you were gonna demo the whole porch. But now, and then on another, it says the whole porch is being there, so what is it? Because
You
and
must,
father
I
and
think you
son's,
meant demo the current awning, not demo the porch.
okay, because it says demo existing porch, jackhammer rental and
That's
everything.
gotta be a typo.
And then over in the, on the plans here, it says using existing porch, so I was a little confused.
Thank you, yeah, using.
So the porch is remaining, and you're just taking off the railing and the pillars and putting them on the ground, is that it, or?
Yeah, we're gonna put the pillars directly in front of the existing porch.
Thank you.
We're gonna put the pillars directly in front of the existing porch. The stairs, the porch itself, and the railings will remain. We're not gonna touch that at all.
So the railings will be there still? Okay, and then you're actually cutting the awning almost in half and bringing it out a few inches
6 inches to accommodate our new posts.
to come with
Yes.
the post. Sue?
Well, I can shed a little light on why it is so close, the sidewalk and that, the setback, because years ago, the village widened the road with the turn lane in there and widened both lanes. And so that house used to have a beautiful porch, front porch, across the whole thing and down the side. And after the village widened the road, then they ended up like sitting on the sidewalk, because between the sidewalk and the old sidewalk and the street, there used to be a huge old tree sitting in there in the right of way. And it was probably, what's the width of a mower? Because I talked to the original owners of the house, and it took him 2 swipes of a lawnmower to go in that
Sure.
right of way by the road, and then there was a sidewalk, and then they had all this yard. So the village wanted to put a turn lane and widen the road, so they cut into this property owners. So that's what happened. And then they ended up tearing off the porch and putting this thing on.
So the house used to conform before the road.
The house did conform, yes, because it had a huge tree out in front of the house.
I believe that was in 88, 89, when they realigned Lakeville Road up to Burdick Street. Because it used to go over to Lakeville Court, and they closed that off, brought it over down Burdick. Put a turn lane in there, which took property from both sides of the street.
A lot of it.
So,
Yeah,
Especially on this side,
yeah, I
the
get
south
that.
side.
Yeah.
Was really bad.
Yeah.
And he's the original owner. They're trying to find a picture of how the house used to look.
Oh, yeah.
So if I can find that, I will let her know.
Yeah, she would love
But that's
that.
kind of how this whole situation
Sure.
came about. So it had nothing to do with the homeowners. It was all on what the village needed or wanted to do.
Right.
I have no objection to it, actually. I think it's much nicer, it's gonna look much nicer than it currently looks. That metal awning on there has been terrible for me years, so.
Mario, do you know if there have been any other variances granted to this property at all?
Not that we know of, no.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Sue?
No.
Okay, then we'll hear the plan's recommendation.
We would recommend that the ZBA approve the request for the variance based on 5 findings of fact. 1, the compliance with the standards would prevent the owner from enjoying a feature common on single-family homes. 2, that the need from the variance results from the location of the structure in close proximity to the front lot line. 3, that the variance would provide substantial justice to the applicant and it's not going to adversely impact the interest of other property owners. 4, that the variance requested is minimum possible to establish a modestly sized residential feature, or that should say residential feature. And then 5, that the need for this variance is not self-created by the applicant.
Okay. Does anybody have a recommendation on the board?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance as requested.
One second.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion by Bezardit, a second by Adam, to grant the variance according to the 5 specifications from our planner, letter dated May 3rd, 2019. I'll have a roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Bailey is absent, Basardi,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
and Bama.
Yes. Okay, we have a motion. Carries. The variance has been granted.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's gonna look great.
Yes.
Are we
I
allowed to?
can't wait to see it.
Oh, she's so excited. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, she loves Oxford, she loves the downtown. She's only gonna do good things. You already said yes, so this doesn't count as a bribe.
I'm okay.
As soon as the meeting
Good
is
that you
done,
waited.
Thank you, sir.
we might indulge.
You want to go, but no. Take one out. Yeah, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Adam, you want one for the ride home?
No, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Watching my girlish figure.
Oh, are those good?
Okay.
Thank you.
Any additional public comment? Seeing none?
Teresa.
How about any additional consultant comments?
None at this time. As far as we know, there's not another request for a variance, so I don't believe we'll have any next
Very
month.
much, very kind of.
Terry, anything from you? No? Okay, any additional board comments?
I just want to welcome Adam. It's nice to have a full board here.
Yes.
It's nice
I
to
hope
meet
you'll
you.
enjoy your time here.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, our next meeting date is Monday, June 3rd, if we need it. If not, we'll see what comes up. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:22.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Bizarre, second by Randall, to adjourn at 7:22. All in favor? Aye. Same sign for no? We're good.
We're done.
Yay, yes. Good job, guys.